to just edge it towards Robert Thornton in a very close, possibly tie-break game. Certainly, maybe even a 6-4. Certainly another game that's going to go 10 legs. I mean, we've already had two cracking matches. Ian White against Dean Winstanley goes to the tie-break, where Winstanley misses double 10, only for Ian White to take out 154 after hitting the 180. And then Gary Anderson in blistering form, 108 average from Gary Anderson. And certainly, if that...
Yes, Andy Hamilton making at least the quarter-final stage of every TV event up until Ali Pali last year. He lost to Richie Burnett in the second round at Ali Pali. Meanwhile, Robert Thornton reached round 3 at the Worlds, losing to Wesley Newton. 190! The first of many maximums, I'm sure, we're going to see in this match.
60. Well, we see a close-up there of Robert Thornton's mascot from one of his grandchildren. Andy Hamilton already hit a 180, and that was another perfect first dart from him. 130. And a brilliant switch, so a chance here for Hamilton to break the throw. Thornton is going to need a minimum of a ton. Well, a 140 would give him a dart at double 16, perhaps, when he returns. 146.
Double top then for 1-0. And we saw Gary Anderson in the last match use double top to full effect. And Robert Thornton there doing likewise for a 1-0 lead. And either of these players really you would expect to be getting towards the nerve end of this tournament this weekend. The final played on Sunday night.
100. Well, a very poor start to this leg, and it was with the throw from Hamilton. So now he's got to have a visit with 2 trebles to get the throw back. Thornton, that's unlucky. That dart has gone down the top of the stem, and Andy Hamilton's one of the players that uses the little metal ring that nips the stem that holds the flight in secure, and it's just gone down that stem and hit this metal ring and bounced out. I mean, that happens once in 1,000 times, possibly.
100. Ian White is awaiting the winner of this one. Ian White seeing off Dean Winstanley, 6-5, very close affair, that one, our opening match of the afternoon here. That third round match, and all the third round matches being played tomorrow. So will it be Thornton or Hamilton up against Diamond White?
Well, going on the early part of the game, you'd have to opt for Thornton. Hamilton hit a 180 in that first leg, but didn't really follow it up. Didn't do anything with it to nick the leg off of Thornton, and Thornton's playing pretty steady at the moment. Low darts always, for me, are a sign of a little bit of tension in the arm, and Andy Hamilton's, both those first 2 there were very low.
So 161 won't happen now, but he will be back to polish off the remainder of that.
I don't understand that, Mike. You know, if he'd have hit the 51, he probably wouldn't have gone for the bullseye. Had a perfect treble 20. He should have stayed there for another treble 20. He set it up perfectly, come back with 3 darts at a double. We see Richie Burnett do it last night when he was 4-3 down to Justin Pipe, and I spoke to Richie afterwards, and he totally agreed with me. He should not have switched. It cost him the leg and the match in the end.
So So bullseye then for Thornton, and yes, for 2-0. Smack in the bullseye to break the throw and take a 2-0 lead here against the Hammer. We're bringing you 8 second round matches in this afternoon session. Next up, it's Mervyn King up against Lee Pulfreman. Lee Pulfreman and his brother Joey making it through the first round yesterday, so both in action today.
57. I had a good chat with both of them as we walked in as well. They are a couple of characters, especially Joey. You've always got a smile on your face when you're around them two Liverpudlians. But Lee played very well yesterday. The first leg was a bit messy against Mark Walsh, but after that I think he had about 106 average for them last 5 legs.
Yes, it was a 6-0 whitewash over a very out of sorts looking Mark Walsh yesterday that saw Lee Pulfreman through to book his place in round 2 against Mervyn King.
Well, the Hammer has got to start hammering that treble 20. Plenty of room for the third. And that's exactly what he's done. He's second of the match. And is this the start of a good rich vein of form from Andy Hamilton? Or is Thornton going to follow it up? Back-to-back 180s here in Germany.
That's what the crowd love to see. Another quality affair on the stage here at Halle 39 Hildesheim. So a 140 out shot to try and stop the rot here for the Hammer. Double 10 for a 140 checkout. Just the wrong side.
And he's busted it.
The wrong side of the bed into the double 15. So a little bit to think about then for Andy Hamilton, the man from Stoke-on-Trent.
134.
Robert Thornton having won 8 PDC ranking titles since joining the Professional Darts Corporation in 2008.
140.
UK Open winner in 2012, and followed that up with a very solid 2013, and is looking to start 2014 with success and well on his way to a second round win over Andy Hamilton here at the German Darts Championships.
Yes, and that UK Open, Mike, I mean, he beat Phil Taylor in the final. Exceptional display of darts. He got in front of Phil Taylor and he just didn't let up. He held his throw absolutely perfectly. Never had a leg over 15 darts on his throw. And took the game to Phil Taylor, which not many people do. And that was just after he had this pneumonia. And I think that scare made him realise that, hey, I want to be on this planet for a lot longer. And I can earn a lot of money out of this game with that sort of talent, and he's been a great player since then. Was a great player before, but certainly now is doing it right.
So Hamilton well ahead in this fourth leg, and a potential 2-dart finish to reduce the arrears. So 20 would leave double top. Double top it is.
52.
But he does have a bit of time to come back for that double 10. Thornton's first start straying into the treble 1.
42.
Well, still not on a finish, Thornton. That was a poor visit from him. Moves along the yockey. Can he squeeze it in double 10? No, he can't. And luckily for him, Thornton's still not on a finish.
And he's already had plenty of attempts at this double 10. Now we can see it. It's a nice bright red colour, Andy. Now he's having to move a little bit more to the left. Now he's chasing it up to the double 5. Well, now we have a situation. The 120, all the professional dart players love this. They're going to get 2 darts at that main treble. Only need 1 of them, and although he's missed, that's not a bad guide. Well, he'll be disappointed with that.
40. And you 110.
Well, he was going for the double top there to leave double top, Thornton, with that last dart that went out. And double 10 eventually, double 5 I should say. But that 10 does mean Hamilton does get a leg on the board, and a sigh of relief as he trudges back to the back of the yockey there for the hammer. And is this the start of the comeback? Just switching down to the 19s. A fantastic pick off there. As good as a maximum of 177.
And again, that's good thinking, Andy Hamilton, because both those darts were in the right-hand side of the treble. Now, for a right-handed person, it is hard to move to the left and throw to the right. It's a lot easier to move to the left and throw to the right because you're natural the way your body goes and the arm will come forward, which turns your body to the left. So go for that big target down the bottom, and Andy Hamilton is one that will switch at the blink of an eye.
Still to come this afternoon then. Next up it's Mervyn King against Lee Polframan. Then Jamie Caven against Ronnie Baxter. Dave Chisnell up against Raymond van Barneveld. Looking forward to that one. So too Steve Beaton against Jelle Klassen. And then our afternoon session ending with John Part taking on Dick Van Dyke.
Well, this would be the perfect setup from Robert Thornton. That is exactly what he's done. Andy Hamilton was probably thinking 6 darts from 126. Now he's got to take this out. Look, oh, and well, that's the worst dart that I think Andy Hamilton's thrown for a little while.
86.
So Robert Thornton, and it is his favourite double, has already hit it once, and he's hit it for the 4th leg. 4 legs to 1, and we see it so often. A player thinks he's dead and buried in the leg, and then all of a sudden a maximum and a check out, and there you have it. We see it certainly in the deciding leg from Ian White when he took the 180 and then the 154. Never give up, always believe that you can win the leg.
Yes, Thornton, that really was a hammer blow for the hammer. Chance to get back to 3-2, instead finding himself 4-1 down now.
I think the only thing that I can see that's missing in Andy Hamilton's game that that has been there for so many years. Is that just that touch of consistency? He's hitting the big score, but then he's having a lot of times when he's following up with a mediocre score. That's when he's got to follow it up. Even if you just nick a ton then. I mean, this time he's done it. But what you're doing, when you hit a big score and then hit a mediocre score, you're opening the door for your opponent to come in with a big score and get back in the leg. You've got to keep that pressure on throw on throw.
Well, that hit the top of the flight, wobbled a bit and then fell out. So 1-2-6 then for the hammer. So we'll be back for 40, sorry.
Well, Thornton hit a maximum to leave 36, and I really thought he was getting the maximum lead tops.
Still a bit of pressure being put on Hamilton for this double top. Well short, double 10. No messing that time. So 4-2 it is. Still battling away, Hamilton.
60.
Thornton here would be looking to make the throw count and would have wanted to have done better than 60 with his opening throw. Would be just one leg away from victory if he wins this leg, Thornton.
140.
Well, he's a big fella, Andy Hamilton, and looks like he can have a scrap, and certainly scraps it out on the dartboard. You'll never see that man give up. He'll fight you for every inch of the stage. As Robert Thornton points to his wife in the crowd, saying that's another one. He leads the maximums 3-2, although Hamilton with that 177. And Hamilton's first 9 dart average is absolutely brilliant. It just proves that, for obvious reasons in them stats, the back end of the game, he's not doing it. He's not hitting the big score when he needed it, and that's when the sucker punch is coming in from Robert Thornton.
So Thornton, can he bang in a big score here? Yes, he can.
140.
So he'll be back for tops, unless Hamilton can pull this one out of the draw.
Double top for Andy Hamilton. Oh, and he's just caught the flight as it's coming in. That's unlucky from Hamilton. Missed 140 early on, but that was on double 10. But Robert Thornton for double top himself now for a 5-2 lead and 1 leg away. He's going to have to move to the left, surely, or is it to the right? Oh, and you can see the despondency on Thornton's face. The hammer has got a second chance.
Right back in it now, Andy Hamilton, reducing the arrears to 4-3. And well, Thornton did have a chance there to go to in 1 leg of victory, but Hamilton against the throw. Right back in it now, disappointing first dart. Switching.
26.
And well, not making advantage of that throw at all there. And can Thornton turn the screw and punish him?
Well, knows the answer to that. So Andy Hamilton's led off there. And as I said earlier on, that little bit of consistency that Hamilton's lost proved it with the start of that leg. And then he comes in with a massive score. And it doesn't get any more massive than that. But when you take the 26 and the 180, that's only level tons. you're always opening the door for someone to come in and, you know, hit the big one against you.
The crowd finding their voices. Another great venue for darts, this Halle 39 here in Hildesheim, the Lower Saxony part of Germany.
41.
One of 5 German venues we're visiting on the European tour again this year. Austria, Holland and Gibraltar, the other 3.
It's gone 26, 180, 30. You know, and you know, when you watch these dart players as close as what we do, we notice them sort of things. The player never wants to be reminded of them, but it is a part of the game. I mean, they go through the same format of practice and whatever. It's just the way the human being is. He can't always be on the top of his game. But that little bit of lack of consistency is just what's brought Hamilton off the top of his form.
58.
And yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag of a leg, this one. Can Thornton knock out a big score? So Thornton will be down to Shanghai on the 20s if Hamilton doesn't take out this big outshot of 148, which he won't do now with that single 5.
Sets it up perfectly though. Well, this is the second time that Robert Thornton's had 120. Didn't have a dart at the double top before. He's going to get the dart at double top now. And what a break, a throw this would be for Robert Thornton. This time he hits the double top. He punches the air. He knows how important that was. One leg away from a next round place for Robert Thornton and Andy Hamilton. I mean, that leg, you know, that just showed the inconsistency of Hamilton at the moment.
100.
Yes, you could see what that meant to Robert Thornton against the throw. One leg away from taking on Ian White in tomorrow's 3rd round.
134.
The switch to the 19s again, working out well there for the hammer.
100.
Mervyn King on stage next against Lee Polfreman.
It's interesting with players as well, Mike, is that when they realise that there's a little bit of a chink, if they overthink it, try to change it too much, that's when sometimes it gets worse. Sometimes you've just got to go, hey, it's just the way I feel at the moment, just get on with it. I think Andy Hamilton's that sort of person. He will just get on with it instead of overthinking what's got to be changed.
Just sort of ride your way through the dip and hope that your previous form returns.
140.
Well, if you can just admit that you're a human being and it happens, you will come through it. But it's when, like I said, you start to panic on it, that's when it gets worse. That's when you start to slide down the rankings. That's what's put more pressure on. And of course, then you overanalyse it and you start looking in the mirror. And, well, I can go back 20 years.
So Robert Thornton will be back for double 12 to seal a 6-3 win over Andy Hamilton. Maybe not quite as close a contest as we were expecting between these two. Switching to double 6. A gasp from the crowd, but no messing with that 3rd dart. Robert Thornton seeing off Andy Hamilton 6-3. He'll play Ian White in the 3rd round tomorrow. Next on the big stage here, Mervyn King against Lee Polfreman in a couple of minutes' time.